Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This video is not to make fun of people's condition that they cannot change, but it is to expose how some people are used by others in creating an image, an unreal image that will have negative repercussions on a society. And I will use this as an example. Have you watched or have you been watching the Games of Thrones? Have you been? I have never watched it on my own will. I watched here and there, about 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, because somebody wanted me to watch that particular portion. But while I was watching, I couldn't help seeing. I know that's a fiction, fictional, whatever it is. But with fiction, you create models and you create myths. And the brain doesn't know at one point if that's a myth or, is going to forget about it. And one of the personages, the characters that I saw over there, was this right here. Tyrion Lannister, right there. This is the personage. And he is a knight or something. He wields swords and things like, very heavy stuff for the times where the body muscular algorithm was necessary. So, ready? So this is the person who is a little bit, he's a midget, right? Little person, however you want to call this person right here. And what made me make this video, it was because today a ball was raised to my net so I can spike it. And there is this article right here. And this comes from CNN Science and is giant shoes found near Hadrian's wall spark mystery around the soldiers of ancient Rome. And that is this sole, the bottom of a foot, of a shoe. So it says here that archaeologists have unearthed a stash of unusually large shoes at the ruins of a 1st century military fort along Hadrian's wall, 73 miles, And this is, 8 of the shoes are over 8 inches. 30 centimeters in length, a US men's size 13.5 or greater based on Nike's size chart, making them larger than average by today's standard and sparking suspicions that unusually tall troops may have guarded this particular fortress at the empire's edge. By contrast, the average ancient shoe found at a neighboring Roman fort was closer to a US men's size 8, according to a news release. But we have this guy right here. Where is you? Right there. So I know it's a fiction. I gotta tell you that I feel throwing up every time I see a new movie with certain kind of characters, physically weak in real life, beating everybody else, including, strong men. And as, we know those videos, those movies are, fictional. Some people believe in them, why? Because I remember a director from the Cannes Festival in Europe, and he was asked, that was maybe 25 years ago or more than 25 years, maybe 30 years ago. And he was asked, do you think that you can compete with Hollywood, with your movies, with the European, movie industry? And he said, I can't remember, he was French, whatever he was, European. And he said, yes, I think we have a chance. As long as Hollywood is focused on making movies, focused on or targeting an audience of 13 years of age, so a person of 13, then we have a chance to make more intellectual and mature videos. Not that is true or not, But his point was the average, and I did some research on that. Hollywood and some directors in Hollywood claim that the regular movies are targeting a society with an understanding of a 13-year-old kid. Because if they make it too complicated, people will not watch it. If it make it too easy, even the 13-year-old will say, this is childish. So 13 years of age, that is the level. So when you have people watching these movies and you know that it's impossible that this guy would have fought any of, where are they, of these guys. You know that. And anybody else with a size 8 foot, whatever size, this guy right here. You know that's an impossibility. Or you have, I don't know, now Wonder Woman is a little bit different because Wonder Woman had special, powers, supernatural powers. But you see now in the movies an FBI agent and she will beat like 5 guys with no problem, which is an impossibility, I would claim. Especially if the guys are thugs. She can practice whatever she wants. She will never be able to beat 5 or 6 people at once, regardless what kind of world champion she might be in FBI, CIA, NSA, or police force. All right? So my point is this. People of a certain level, including the youth and certain teenagers, would watch videos, movies. And they will think, going in their real life, that they can take those guys if they want. And I'm going to give you an example. How many times, or if never, please go and do this on your own. On YouTube, go and do a search when you have certain fat fucks or certain, in this case, women, being very angry against men. Really thinking that they can take the man. Now that is false confidence, false self-esteem. I maintain, or I think some of it is based on the movies they watched and really believe that they can do it. Now that's false confidence, and that will endanger those perpetrators' lives in future. Why? Because they will try it and they will get just smacked and it's going to end up badly. I also would like you to watch, for instance, some videos when you have, men against women, in fighting, a real fight. There are some in Russia and in real societies, and you're going to see the outcome. Or if you want to watch those, lately was the national team, soccer national team of, I think it was Switzerland, played with a 13-year-old team and they lost, I can't remember how much, like 7-1 or something. And the other famous one was, about 7 years ago, when again the national team, I think it was world champion in soccer, women, played again with some teenage boys and lost with 13-1 or something. So these things create a problem. You're going to have a society that thinks they can do it and they don't. And when they're going to be put in the position, they will fail. They will fail. That's why we are doing so great, for instance, in jobs. You have people who are promoted based on other attributes than ability. And when they are promoted, their ability for the job, when they are promoted by ass kissing, by fucking, by appearing in a certain way, by DEI, by all this kind of things, they will get in a position where they cannot perform because they don't have the skills. They were hired and promoted based on other non-skill necessaries to the position. And then you're going to have inefficient. You're going to have companies, usually the government, because government allows failure. Private companies, they don't allow failure because it's their money. You understand? That's the whole purpose why you see this promotion of people that should not be promoted in position of management, for instance, because they don't deserve it. And they will be inefficient and there will be anarchy in the department, for instance. But in a private institution, you will be out because the owners and the investors and ours really lose money. The government loses money, raises taxes. Got that? So the same thing with these guys. This is false confidence. I'm not saying you should not make videos or movies with, the pig flying or the pig beating a lion or the lamb sitting by the lion and they have sex. I understand that, but that should be treated as a parody kind of, not as a real deal. I don't have anything against this actor, okay? But I guarantee you that if you give this guy a 5-foot long sword to wield for a minute, if he gets to a minute, how this guy is going to be able, and he's a knight, he rides his horses, and he's really, it's really creating the false worldview of people. That's an impossibility. Got that? Out. Well, Emil, you're too uptight. Okay, if I'm too uptight, then why don't we show, let's say, Moses loving children? Why not? Or why not we don't make a movie about Moses, which is real, being a genocidal individual at the order of this God? That's in the Old Testament. His orders, he destroyed city-states. Amorites, Canaanites were exterminated. Why don't we make real movies about real people? We don't have to invent them. You will never see something like this. Why not? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Don't be upset with me. I have nothing to do with this kind of... I just mentioned this one because I think it was very interesting to see those Romans. And by the way, I don't know if you're familiar with the giants from the antiquity. Who are they? And a lot of people say the Greeks were tall and blonde and blue-eyed. The same they say about the Thracians. Look at the Greeks now. Are those the Greeks? That's why Alexander the Great was blonde. And not only. So what's going on here? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.